Liz, I can't put into words how excited I am to be with you today because there's brilliant inspiration to me and how you managed to bring your work into the expeditions. And I'm also passionate about the outdoors. So I wanted to hear from you, what difference does it make to run coaching during an expedition with your clients?
Oh my gosh. Yeah, so many differences. Like, I think the main thing is like when people are outside, when we're in nature, I think what I experience anyway is that like as humans, we become more porous, we become more receptive, we can like see things with a wider lens. I think we tend to slow down. I think our nervous systems like co-regulate better. Like I think humans, we like co-regulate in nature. And we, probably many of us have experienced that. It's like we walk outside and suddenly you feel calmer. And so in that calmer state, I think people are far more receptive to like kind of get the insights, like the things that we're trying to do in coaching, like those aha insights that are like, oh wow, I like see myself a little differently, or I can like see new possibilities. I think those insights come a little easier because we're in this like really quiet, receptive state. And then I think the other thing that happens, especially on the expeditions when there's like lots of us together, like, maybe a group of 6 or 10 people, is that we're doing this like really deep work in community. And so people are seeing each other
Mm-hmm.
work change and are witnessing each other. And like that affirmation from peers, in some ways, I think it's like far more powerful than coaching, like than a coach providing the container that like allows you to see the insight or see the things about yourself that you maybe wouldn't have been able to see before. I think when that's being reinforced by peers, or peers are making the observation, like, hey, I just saw you do this new way move. And then the person's like, oh wow, like a peer is seeing this, like not my coach. It
Yes.
like kind of like sets things into place on such a deep level.
And also, when you're saying this, what I'm feeling is when we are coaching, we also grow from seeing and learning and hearing people. And I guess everybody in the group gets to benefit a little bit as if they were also coaching because they're also connecting with the struggles, with the development, and it just empowers them in a different way, right?
Absolutely. Yeah. No, I think that I think the group setting is like when you put people together in a group, everything changes exponentially. And like for me, I know it's the expeditions are an incredibly growth, like a really rich place of growth for me. Like I feel totally changed. And yeah, we're like hearing each other and like, oh yeah, I can relate to that thing. Or the opposite is happening where it's like, and I think you and I experience this a lot. It's like where you and I have really different strengths. And I watch you in the world. I'm like, holy shit, like Carolina just like does this thing so easily. It's not like rocket science. Like she can do it. I can do it too. And so for people who are working on, centering their own needs and they're
Mm-hmm.
on an expedition, somebody who like really clearly asked for what they need, they're like, oh, cool. I just saw an example of that. It was really simple. Dang, I could do that too. Um, so
Yes,
yeah,
definitely. Like you're inspired also and learning from each other in a whole deeper way than you could like just in normal life, right? Because you're going through that experience together. I can imagine how
yeah,
wonderful that might be.
yeah. What do you think the difference is when you are coaching somebody on a hike versus here on Zoom like we are right now?
I agree with you that people open up in different ways. And I've also heard from a client that she filters less. They tend
Mm,
to think less and be more spontaneous, which is what we also want.
Yeah, like even for people to notice like how much their attention goes forward, like, oh, I just want to get to camp, I just want to get to camp, versus like, can I pay attention to like this step right now, this like this
Mhm.
mushroom, or this amazing view of a waterfall, or like, yeah, that ability to like come back into the present. I think expeditioning gives you such a cool opportunity to practice.
Cool. And I had a last question because we're almost out of time, but can you quickly talk about the next one?
Yeah, so we have one expedition going into Yellowstone in September. So that's hiking, backpacking, 7 days, like going into backcountry hot springs, incredible waterfalls. Yeah, the Yellowstone landscape ecosystem is just phenomenal. And then the second expedition this fall is on Labyrinth Canyon on the Green River. So it's in canoes. It's a little bit less physically strenuous, I would say. But it's incredible scenery, like paddling through gorgeous red canyons, like what you picture in, I don't know if you from Brazil and Europe can picture the Utah Canyonlands, but it's like gorgeous red magical scenery and a bit more kind of relaxed floating downstream. But there's on that trip there's an opportunity for a solo, so people get to spend 24 hours choice based, but people can spend 24 hours kind of on their own in a spot and just like spending that time with themselves and with nature and
Nice.
let
That's
that.
amazing. I wish
Yeah,
I was closer because I would definitely love to be part of one of them or both of
one day
them.
mission
But we'll still
together.
do it together for sure.
We will.
Thank you so much, Liz.
Oh, it's so good to talk to you. Beijos.